Cass, what's going on?
So much, man. So much is going on. My life is kind of it's amazing and terrible all at the same time. That's what's going on. Amazing and also terrible.
You know what? That should be my answer now because this is, when I see people in person and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" You know what my answer is? Is usually this. Oh, I kind of do that.
Yeah, that's
So
how
I
I
like
feel.
yours better. Amazing and also the worst.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what it is? I've been taking on a little bit too much, like a morsel too much, and then just when I'm at my point where I think I can't possibly take any more, just life just adds a little turd on top, like a little turd hat, just to make it, so that's what's happened. It's been a rough week. It's been a rough year, but I there's light at the end of the tunnel. So I don't know if you know, I decided about a year ago to become a firefighter
Yes,
in
I
my
did
spare
know
time.
that. Yeah, it's not like you have a full-time job or a family or rescue pets or no, nothing like that.
Yep, that's been hard. It's been
Mhm.
way harder than I thought. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, I'll get to save people. I didn't anticipate the fire. There's a lot of fire, okay?
Wait,
There's a
wait. If you're
I
a
know it's
firefighter,
in
you
the
have to deal with
name. It's in the name. But like, why so many, friends? Why so many? And also a lot of training, a lot of school, a lot of memorization. I'm doing like hazardous waste, but my final exam is this weekend. So in 2 days, I'm doing both the practical and the written exam. Fingers crossed I pass and I'm done with the education part, which is like, it's like probably an extra 20 hours a week. So I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be amazing.
So, follow-up question there. Do you sleep ever?
I do until my pager goes off at 2 a.m. and I'm rushing out the door. Look, I carry this thing everywhere with me.
Oh my gosh, look at that thing. It looks like a
Yeah,
brick. It looks like a
it
hockey
is.
puck.
It is. I sometimes I forget to bring it and then I miss calls. I'm not so great at being a firefighter yet,
Are
but
you a
I'm
paid firefighter?
learning. Yes, yeah.
Okay. You literally have 2 jobs.
I literally have two jobs, yeah. And I really love them both. And the crazy thing is, the truth is, like I'm like joking about it, but I couldn't imagine my life without this now. Right? When I first started, it seemed so insane and so big. And I'm like, everyone's like, what are you doing? Why would you do this? And now I'm like, I can't imagine not doing this. It's so fulfilling on a different level that I've never experienced before. And I mean, you work out all the time.
Mhm.
I never worked out. So I'm also experiencing like the feeling of physically being exhausted. And I
Mhm.
like it.
For people who have a hard time sleeping, that's one of the things that I tell them. I was like, if you work out really, really hard, when your body is physically tired, it's pretty easy to fall asleep.
Mhm.
Do you find that?
I do, and I just feel like stronger. I
Mhm.
feel stronger. I feel healthier. I feel more confident. My like aches and pains that I normally have are going away. Sometimes they're bad, okay, but that's because I just did a big workout. But overall, it's amazing how much more I can lift. I picked up my dog a couple of months ago and I've never been able to pick her up. And she was full of mud and I just scooped her like nothing. And I'm running up the stairs to put her in the tub and I stopped halfway and it was like, am I carrying the dog? And it feels like nothing. I was so excited. Yeah, it was absolutely amazing.
I love that so much. I don't love that you have 2 jobs, but I do love that you're doing something that you love and it makes you feel strong. So quick question about the outfit.
Yeah.
Because we did this cool field trip when my kids were super small to a fire station and I got to try on the firefighter outfit. It weighs 1,000,000 pounds, first of all, if people don't know that. And it's a little claustrophobic. Do you have a
Yeah.
hard time with that?
I did at first, but I'm absolutely used to it now. So it my gear weighs 70 pounds. And when I'm in it, like in school, it's 12 hours. You're in this gear and it is fireproof. So it doesn't breathe. So you're like sweating and you're putting the mask on. But honestly, like you really do get used to it and it kind of becomes second nature. So at first it was scary, especially when you're crawling. Sometimes we're on air and we have to crawl through very tight spaces and we have to take our pack off. Still on air, it's called shuttling it or scuttling it, putting it in front of you and like crawling. And then that wave of claustrophobia hits you, right? You are dependent on this air pack. You are in a very tight space. And if it comes off or something happens, like it's lights out, my friend. But with so much training and repetition over and over again, it really does just become like you don't even really you notice it, but you don't really notice it.
Right. So your tank, is it standard oxygen tank like a scuba
It's
diver?
it's compressed air, so it's not oxygen,
Right.
it's compressed air, and I have a 45-minute tank, so it weighs about 30 pounds.
Okay, because I am scuba diving certified. So
Oh,
I've had that tank, that compressed air tank on my back. They're very heavy. I want to say the
yes.
scuba diving ones are longer than 45.
Yeah,
So
I'm
those might
assuming
be
they're
bigger.
you may have like
Yeah.
a 60-minute one or even well, bigger.
Or
I mean
longer or longer.
it'll
They're
make you
very big.
yeah,
Hmm.
very, very, very heavy for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
extremely heavy. My favorite video you ever made on your YouTube channel is the one about the cat that you did. It wasn't quite a year ago, but it was a while ago, about rescuing this cat and taking the cat to the vet and having the cat pee in your car and on you. I have never laughed so much. It's my favorite video, which probably you hate to hear that because it was so ridiculous. But that's why it was my favorite, because it was ridiculous and it was fun and
Yeah,
hilarious.
it was a nightmare. You know what? That video did so bad. That was last February. So last
Hmm.
February, we had this stray cat show up and he did not want to be touched or anything, but we were like coaxing him with food. We named him Mr. Bojangles, and then he was really hurt. He had obviously been in a fight. So we caught him, we captured him, and we didn't have a cat carrier. And I thought in some weird land, I could just put him in a box and put him on the seat like a ninja from the depths of hell. He burst out of that while I'm driving on the road. So I'm trying to catch him. I put him on my lap and he just urinated and didn't stop urinating. And it smelled so bad. And I'm throwing up on myself. And it's just all the way to the vets. So that was an experience. It ended up being $1,300 to fix this stray cat. And
Oh
then
my
I'm like,
gosh.
well, like I I could I could put him down probably for $100, but I felt, some sort of obligation. I was like, I guess you're mine now. And slowly he started getting more friendly, but then he got hurt again.
This
And we took
week,
him
last
like
week,
a couple months ago and then
a couple of months
again
ago.
last week. So we have like almost $10,000 into this stray cat. And I'm kid you not, at this point, I gotta say enough is enough. But I don't know. I assume we assume he got hit by a car or something. He's always escaping. And we have a dog and we have kids that just open the door and he's a little escape artist. And he escaped a couple of days ago. We couldn't find him. We finally found him and he was really limping. His hip had been dislocated. They couldn't put it back in. So we had to actually have part of his femur and his hip removed. And plus, he was so banged up, like his other legs don't really work. He's like a slithering snake
Say, how
across
does
the
that
floor
even
with.
work? Do they ever walk again? I don't even understand.
I also don't understand. Right now, I'm feeding him with a spoon
Oh
and
my
I'm
gosh.
carrying him to the litter box every hour just in case he has to go. And I'm giving him water through a syringe. And my life is very stressful. And he's waking me up all night long because anytime he makes a noise, I'm like, oh, does he have to go to the bathroom? Because if I don't catch him, he just goes wherever he is. So
And
it's
I don't know if
like,
the listeners know, but cat pee does not smell good. It's
yeah.
real bad, like one of the worst.
It is. And I'm very aware if he starts getting used to not using a litter box, even because he's hurt, it's very hard to then transition them back to using a litter box. So I'm trying to be hyper vigilant to take
Mm-hmm.
him constantly to his litter box so that he, if he does, when he gets better, let's be positive. That it can just he can start using the litter. I think he'll be like lame forever if they call it that. So obviously he'll have a limp or something, but apparently the prognosis from this is really good. We'll
Wow.
see what happens. This is his ninth life though. Like this
I
is
was gonna
it,
say it only
Bojangles.
sounds like 3. You might
No,
have
I'm
no?
done. I'm done. I'm he keeps trying to unalive himself, man. And it's just like
Right?
I love him. I love him. And what we decided as a family, because my husband's like, we're putting him down. We're not spending the money. I'm not even going to tell you because you'll barf to fix this cat. So we had a family meeting, and what we were planning on doing for Christmas is going on a cruise with my kids. That was like our Christmas gift to each other instead of buying gifts.
Yeah,
And we
fun. I love that.
decided instead we voted to fix Mr. Bojangles. So we're not getting Christmas gifts this year. This cat is our Christmas gift
I don't know
to
that I
each
would have made
other.
that decision. I'm not going to lie to you. I won't lie to you today. I
My
don't
husband did
know.
not want that decision.
Your
And
kids voted for no cruise and save Mr.
yeah,
Bojangles.
yeah, they did.
At what
And
point in this process did you think maybe pet insurance is a good plan?
yeah, bro, like right while I was writing the check, I thought maybe I should
Oh,
have got the
yeah,
pet
darn it.
insurance. The thing is, he wasn't, it wasn't an expected thing. He was a stray cat that kind of came along, and we just always were like, well, we'll fix him up, but he's kind of doing his own thing. And then now, when my kids, to see them love him in that way and to see them like say we'll give up our Christmas gifts in order to save him, I was like, what an amazing thing for them to do, right? So I voted yes, let's fix Mr. Bojangles for them, really. And they're just so happy, and every day they're petting him. They're like, we made the best decision. And on Christmas morning we're like gonna put a little hat on him and put them under the tree. And so it's actually a really beautiful life lesson, I think,
Hmm.
because the narrative my kids are saying is like, we already have enough. We have so
Right.
much. We're so lucky. And now we get to save this, like his life, and we get to do something really good instead of just a 1 week trip. I
So
would
the
really
cruise
like
is off the table,
I would really
obviously.
like the trip a little bit, but it's
I
okay.
know. So does that mean there's no presents at all? Does that mean you're going to do stockings? You're going
Yeah,
to
we
do
just do
anything?
stockings. We're just doing
Or you're
stockings,
just going to
and
pass the cat around?
I know.
Everyone give Mr. Bojangles a hug.
We're just going to do stockings, and we always do things like everybody gets new PJs and a book.
Mm.
But really, like we decided on this. I'm following through and not going to like surprise them with little extra gifts, because on Christmas Day, I really want them to feel it, like they
Okay.
made this decision and this is what they did, and it's going to be like sad, maybe, like that's normal. They might feel a little bit like, ooh, this kind of sucks, but also there's going to come a time in their life when they're older that they might have to make a decision between spending money on this or that. And so I'm really looking at this as a life lesson in empathy and love and selflessness.
I think it's a good lesson for kids. Speaking of Christmas, do you have other Christmas traditions that you're going to do, like uh, neighbor gifts? You do neighbor gifts at all?
Yeah, we do. We elf people where we like put a
Cute.
little, gift basket and then like Nicky Nicky Nine Door or whatever, ring the doorbell and run kind of thing. We've been doing that every year. We also do a decluttering right before Christmas where my kids will fill like these Santa sacks with things that they're no longer using. My girls are older, so they'll like pick clothing and stuff, and then we drop that off at the thrift store. I started this
Hmm.
years ago, and my kids like really got into it. So that's a tradition we do. We decorate cookies, kind of like all the classic things. I think our biggest tradition is so weird. Okay, listen. Christmas dinner one year, I was so overwhelmed And I was like, I'm just gonna just not cook us food, and I'm just gonna heat up like frozen chicken nuggets and other little frozen things and cut up some cheese and crackers, and I called it smorgasbord. And
And it's
so
stuck.
it's stuck. My kids go bonkers for this. They're like, "Are we having smorgasbord this Christmas?" And I'm thinking, "Oh, yeah, we totally are." And I see this as something that they'll probably do with their families. So we just kind of like lay out platters of frozen food that we've heated up and kind of like just eat that all day while we watch Christmas movies. And they would rather that than pizza or Chinese food or a big turkey dinner every Christmas.
I love that so much because I really believe that people slash women mostly, because I deal with mostly women, I'm sure you do also, they're so stressed out about the traditions around Christmas. And it doesn't have to be the turkey dinner. It doesn't have to be steak. It doesn't have to be fancy party. It can be a smorgasbord. It
Mm.
can be Chinese takeout. It can be whatever you want it to be. And if it's fun and everyone likes it, who cares if you go against the status quo?
Yeah, and for some reason, like it's the simplified traditions that my kids seem to love the most, like where we all grab pillows and blankets and like lay on the floor and have snacks and watch Christmas movies. We
Hmm.
used to go to the movie theater on Boxing Day and have this big thing. They would way rather that kind of laid back, fun in your jammies tradition. And so I'm definitely learning to like let go of expectations and
Hmm.
not look at what's going on social media and trying to emulate that, because I'm just exhausted and cranky and nobody even likes it more. Anyways,
Right, right. So you do the movies. I love Christmas movies. So, favorite Christmas movie? What is it?
oh my god, my whole family loves Elf. I hate Elf, but we do watch Elf
You hate
every
it. Stupid
I
humor. You don't
can't.
like that?
I don't. It's so embarrassing. My favorite's Home Alone. So we have like a Home Alone marathon where we watch all the
Hmm.
Home Alones. I freaking love that movie. But we also always watch Elf.
You watch Elf for
Most
them because they love it and you hate it.
I hate it so
I
much.
love, there's very few Christmas movies I don't like. I like almost all of them. Here's what's eye opening to me as an adult watching Home Alone. So I watched it obviously as a kid. I probably saw it in the theater. It wasn't until recently, the last 5 years, that I was like, oh my gosh, this family's so mean.
I
I
know.
cannot believe the way they talk to each other. I can't believe the way the uncle is talking to the nephew. Like I was like if my brother, unironically talked to my son like that, I'd pop him one. Like
Yeah.
they're so mean. They're shockingly mean, and I didn't get
They're
that as a
also
kid.
like so irresponsible. Like he's
Yes.
8 years old and
Uh
they
huh.
leave him home alone and go to the airport. And then they're not like calling a friend or relative to go check on him. Like, what are you doing? I'd be like calling the police. Like, what? You don't leave an 8 year old for a week alone while you're in a different country and just
Totally. How many
like the
times have you
mom was
gotten to
like
the
slightly
airport
concerned, but like
and
how
and
concerned?
like when you get from
Call
the
a
car,
neighbor.
you get from the car into like luggage drop. They're going to Paris. They have to drop luggage. You wouldn't be like 1, 2, 3, 7. I'm missing one. You
You
know,
wouldn't notice your own child?
your own child
It's your
missing.
child. What are
It's
you talking
ridiculous.
about? You would need to count heads. They have 3 children in their immediate family. You
Yep.
wouldn't notice? What are
My
you
favorite.
talking
Listen,
about?
my favorite scene in the whole freaking movie, I rewind it every year without fail, is Marv's scream with the spider.
Hmm.
I cannot, it's the best scream in movie history. I stand by that.
Yeah, it is. The whole thing is just it's like I just love it so much. So I make my family watch all of them. And you know what? We also watch Die Hard. Guess what?
It's
Die
a
Hard is
Christmas movie.
it's a freaking Christmas
Hmm.
movie, man.
It is.
It's a Christmas movie.
You know what else is a Christmas movie? While You Were Sleeping is a Christmas movie.
Is it though?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right,
It
okay.
happens over Christmas.
True,
She
making
goes
it
and
a
like
Christmas
gets the family, like spends all of Christmas with them.
while you were sleeping.
Totally is.
We're going to add that in the roster because what
Add it.
I do love those classic Hallmark movies, but also you seen one, you seen them all. So like
That's what I say.
they're just small town guy, small town girl, big city girl, big city guy comes. It's like, they fall in love and done and rinse and repeat. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going into the like core week of Christmas movie marathon. They're not. They're just not.
I'm with you, but my husband disagrees. So Dave is like, he's pulling up Netflix right now, and he's like, Christine, watch a Hallmark movie with you. And I was like, wait, let me guess the plot. The big city girl randomly, accidentally purchases a hotel in New Zealand and then meets the handyman guy who's really hot, and then her whole life changed. Nope, wait. It's the small town girl moves to the big city to follow her dreams and then meets the annoying neighbor but he's so cute. And then they make it, or backwards or forwards, or,
And don't
mix it up how
forget,
you want.
sometimes they got to go home to their sick family, and then
Mm-hmm.
the neighbor happens to own a Christmas tree farm
Yep.
and have a young son but the Christmas tree farm is failing, so they need the executive girl to help with the marketing plan to save the farm, and then they get married and she ends up moving there and live happily
Yep.
ever after.
Yep. Or she goes back home for the holidays to take care of her sick dad. And then, her best friend from high school just happens to be there. They haven't seen each other in 15 years. And wow, does he look great.
Yeah, man. Small town, big town, always the same.
Always the same.
It's just
Also, did you know that Jurassic Park and Mission Impossible are the same movie?
I did not know. Wait a minute.
Okay, so
Like
listen.
with or without dinosaurs?
Listen, okay, so there's some good guys, and then the bad guys want to steal the product / dinosaur / something and make a whole lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And then the good guy blows a lot of stuff up. And then a lot of people die. The bad guy wants money, and then one has dinosaurs and one doesn't. There you go.
I see it. I feel like, yeah. Movies are really bad lately. Have you even noticed that? Like, I've been watching a lot of
Yes.
new movies coming out, and I'm like, where have all the good movies gone? Why
They're
are they
all
trash?
gone. They're all
Where's
gone.
the
So
Forrest Gumps? Where's the good
I
classic?
found
Like,
out.
when's the last time?
I have the answers.
Okay, what is it?
I saw Matt Damon on a podcast or something, and he talked about this, right? Because he made movies with Ben Affleck in the 90s. And he talked about how easy it was to make movies, how much fun it was, how easy it was, because you would have multiple streams of income from movies. You had box office weekend, the run in the theaters, the VHS or DVD release. Later, you would get a second wave of income coming in. And then once everything moved streaming and the sales went away, the movie, I guess the movie producers or whoever is the big dog in that, I'm not in the industry, so I'm, loosely interpreting here. They don't have the second wave of income anymore. They have the first movie run, and that is it. So they need to make more money per movie on opening weekend or the theater run because they don't have the second wave coming in, which means they shut down a lot of lower budget films that he used to make. All those Adam Sandler movies, all those like high school rom-com movies that came out in the late 90s and the early 2000s. All of those are gone.
Because they're not, and I can see them not doing like worldwide success, right? You can make like an alien versus monster movie that can then be shown in China and all over the place, and they can dub it, but you're not going to dub like, a teen drama.
Right. Like we haven't had a good one in a really long time. And it totally makes sense to me because if you're hoping to score like $100 million box office weekend, that's a huge blockbuster movie. And not all the movies were like that when they first come out, but they gained a following later. And now we just don't have any of those good ones.
We just don't. So now our kids are going to experience like the awesomeness of 13 going on 30.
Except
they're going to
that's
have
what
to
I do.
watch.
I have them experience. I have lists. My high school senior get a movie list of like must check off these movies before you graduate and leave. And none of them are from later than 2010 or later. None of them.
Yeah. Like 10 Things I Hate About You. My kids
Favorite. I
both, my
love it.
girls love that freaking movie. There's just nothing like that anymore, which is sad,
No.
but at least we have the old ones to watch.
You know what I love about that movie in particular? This is one of my favorite things about it is it portrays all of the nerves and excitement of your high school existence without slapping labels on it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
I feel
mm.
like everything is labeled as anxiety or depression, or like we're not allowed to have normal emotions anymore. Like
Without everything, yeah.
without
I
everything being
totally.
labeled. And so there's this scene where they're going to the party and the nerdy kid is like I feel like I'm going to throw up, but I can't wait to get there, but I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm frozen with fear. Like all those feelings can be true at the same time because he's so excited, but he's not really sure what to expect, but he does want to go, but he's scared to go. Like 100% normal teenage emotions, all
Mhm.
normal. And that was the first time my daughter, when she saw that scene, she was like, "Oh my gosh, that's okay. That's normal. Like all these crazy feelings I have are normal." And I'm like, "Yeah, they totally are. Everyone feels them. Everyone. That's just a part of social experiences, you know?"
Yeah, even grown-ups feel that way, but as teen, it's definitely magnified. You're doing all these
Mm-hmm.
like scary things for the first time and you're hormonal. Yeah, and then now everything has a label and a name and possible medication and are you OCD? Are you ACD? Are you
ACDC,
BBT?
maybe?
You got
DMC?
stuff. You got all these things. It's crazy. Yep, loving I'm an old school movie lover for sure.
Yeah, me too. Let's talk about organization and declutter a little bit because that's your forte. I don't know if you knew that. People know you for that. Did you know?
I did. I do. I get asked
Did
about
yeah?
it a lot, so I
Yeah.
assumed.
I was trying not to spend the whole time on that because I'm sure you talk about it ad nauseum. But while you're here, I can't help but bring it up a little bit. So, what I like about your stance is these days, and I have so many names, don't you think? Minimalism, under
Hmm.
consumption core, simple living, like all these things, right?
Yes.
And I don't feel like you subscribe to those necessarily. You're your own person. You like your stuff. You're
Like my
messy.
stuff.
You just have learned how to organize and find hacks to help you,
Yeah, I'm
which I
lazy.
like.
That's what it is. I'm so lazy. I want to be so lazy and lazier, but I still want all the good stuff. You know what I mean? Like I want a house that's super clean all the time and looks like a magazine, but I don't want to clean it or do any work to maintain it. So I spend an obnoxious amount of my time trying to find shortcuts and hacks and ways that I can have the good stuff. I probably work way harder trying to find these than if I just actually did the thing. But the plus side of that is I've actually really found some systems and some things that work. And then I get to share them with other people so they don't have to do the whole trial and error thing. And the truth is, it isn't one size fits all. And what works for one person might not work for you, and that's okay. But we're in this amazing time where we have access to the internet and we have so much information. So it's beautiful because we can see so many options and we can kind of try different things out to find what really fits us best in our home and our family and the way we naturally live. And that's what it is all about for me. I want to set up my home that catches our stuff how we naturally put it down without even thinking about it so that it stays tidy all the time without us having to like actively tidy, if
Is
that makes
there
sense.
an area of your life that you do lean on the minimalism side? A category, a hobby, groceries maybe? Is there an
Yeah,
area that you're like, I really feel minimal in this area?
yeah, definitely cooking, I feel like is minimal in our family. I don't love it. And so I meal plan, but I really try to always think about like what is a simple thing I could do with one pot or a crock pot that I can have done in under 30 minutes. And I feel like I'm super minimal that way. I also don't stock up on a lot of food. So I don't have like emergency food or a pantry that's bursting. I have food for the week and a little bit of extras. So I shop every Sunday. I have the meals planned for the week, and that's kind of it. So if you were to come into my kitchen, you might think that I'm a minimalist, but
Mhm.
what it really is for me is like I want to spend as little time in there as possible while still providing like healthy, nutritious meals for my family.
Yeah, yeah. I know a lot of people like that, and I know it definitely works for some people. So on the flip side, what's an area that you overconsume? Like a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, home decor. I have a problem with the home decor. I have an entire closet just for throw pillows. So
You
that's
and Dawn, what is with you guys and the
what
throw
I
pillows?
just love the throw pillows so much. And not only do I love them, I have them for every season. Not just like 4 seasons, I have them for like Easter and then spring and then spring almost summer and then summer pillows and then fall pillows and then Halloween pillows. And then after I go back to like the fall and then I have Christmas pillows, but then I also have winter pillows. Then we're jumping right back into spring and then Easter summery. So it's like there's like 8 different types of throw pillows for every sofa and chair in my home, and I have multiple of those too. So when I say a closet, it's like a full like closet.
I feel like you and me are complete opposites. Do you feel like that?
Yes. Because you
Like
love cooking and you love
I love
having a
cooking and I love having all the food in there and I want
yes.
all the kitchen gadgets and I listen, I really have a hard time with home decorations because I think they're beautiful. I'm not saying they're not beautiful and they're very aesthetically pleasing and they annoy me on like a I live in my house kind of way. I'll give you an example. I was listening to your podcast. You did one of those kick you in the butt, get moving ones. They're my favorite. When you're like tough love business and you're like, get off your butt right now and go start a load of dishes right now. And I'm like, yeah, those are my favorites. Sometimes I play them on repeat. So I was like, I deserve to have a sanctuary bedroom. So I am going to like
Yes.
set up my bed and I got extra pillows and I have this beautiful red throw. I love red. It's one of my favorite colors. It's this beautiful red throw. And I like to sleep with a weighted blanket, but it doesn't match anything else. And it's not one of those beaded ones. It's a really, really thick fabric. And so it's very bulky, but it doesn't fit on the bed in the decoration sense when I make the bed. And it weighs so much. So I'm like, well, I got to put
Mm.
this somewhere because it doesn't fit on the bed. So I'm like, I guess I'm going to put it in my closet like during the day and then pull it out, which feels so
No,
stupid.
that's ridiculous. That's
It
so
is
crazy.
ridiculous.
Just put it under your top duvet. Like put your sheet.
But then
We
it's
don't
going to
even
be a
use
big
top sheets.
lump.
And then put your lump. It's fine. Spread it out so it's less lumpy. And then a blanket, a big fluffy duvet or something on top.
It's really
You
pretty to
do
look
you
at.
want to listen to me? You want to talk about insane, okay? I have 4 pillows on the bed. Like I have 2 and my husband has 2, and they're really big and fluffy. Both of us
Yeah.
throw one of them on the floor. Okay. On
Okay.
top of that, I have 8 throw pillows. 8
No.
8 just for my bed. Okay. Then a big duvet, then a throw at the end of the bed. When we go to bed, we just literally are throwing stuff on the floor. It's a production to take everything off and throw it all on the floor and then go to sleep. And then in the morning, we pick it up off the floor and we put it all back like insane people. And guess how
At
much time I
any
spend
time.
in my bedroom? Zero minutes,
0 minutes.
unless
Never.
I'm sleeping with everything on the floor. So why?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I know, but it genuinely makes me happy. Like it makes me happy to walk in, even for that split second before I throw it all on the floor. I'm like, ah, this is so pretty. And that is worth it for me. It
At
is
what
worth it for
point
me.
do you go, this is irritating?
Every day,
Every
every
day, but
day,
it's worth
every
it.
day. Worth it. I
Every
mean,
day, but it's
when
worth it.
you're chopping your crap when you're cooking, are you not like, this is irritating?
No, I find it soothing.
Oh, okay.
I play really loud music and I
Mm.
sing and dance in the kitchen.
That's so
I
nice.
crank it. I have a speaker in the kitchen and I just blast the crap out like loud, ridiculous. I'm sure they can hear me next door.
That's so
You know,
nice.
because I don't have a good singing voice, so it has to be loud if I'm going to sing along, and I probably have no dance moves. Look how white my skin is. I'm translucent. I got no
I'm sure
rhythm.
you could like robot or
I can
something.
robot a little. I can maybe do some Vanilla Ice, like go ninja, go, right?
That sounds really fun. Honestly, like, okay, I could get behind that kind of cooking, but then it's the dishes and the cleaning up after. No, no, friend. I want one pot meals. I
Here's why
want
it doesn't bother me.
one.
Kitchen gloves, kitchen gloves, what makes 50% of the difference.
Hmm.
And then the loud music again, my friend. Blast it. Blast the
Your
crap out of it.
neighbors must just love you.
They probably don't. They probably don't. I love music so much. I love it. I feel like maybe if I ever make it to heaven, my reward will be a good singing voice.
And you probably actually have a lovely singing voice. You just don't know it.
No, I'm
I mean,
pretty tone
everybody
deaf.
thinks they're a bad singer.
I'm pretty tone deaf.
I'm also tone deaf. I
Really?
mean, I've recorded myself. I know I'm bad.
Yeah, I've recorded myself too. It's not good.
Okay.
It's really not good.
Whatever.
I'm
It doesn't matter.
I'm
That sounds so
self-aware enough.
nice. That sounds so nice. I just, what? It's not my jam, and that's okay. But I like tonight. Listen, you'll be happy. We're having roast beef. We're having roasted cauliflower and steamed
Yum.
asparagus, and we're
I
having
love it.
mashed potatoes, and it's great. But that type of meal is like twice a week kind
Mhm.
of thing because it's a lot of dishes. It's like
Yeah.
4 pots and pans and the whole thing. And my kids will eat 2 bites and be like, I don't like this. But if I whip together some spaghetti and meatballs in one pot, they're going to gobble it up and love it. So,
Yeah, on some level, you got to avoid the I don't want that like conversation because that's just a hit to your ability to come back again and do it tomorrow.
and I honestly don't care. Like, I'm not a foodie personally. I'll eat chicken nuggets every day. So if I don't care and they don't care and no one cares, why am I doing it just for the sake of doing it? So,
Right.
yeah. That's the one area that I feel like I'm the most minimalist when it comes to my entire house is like the kitchen and food. I think I have like one paring knife. One.
That's
I'm
okay.
just like,
I think I have one paring knife. I don't have duplicates of knives.
okay, all
I have a lot
right. What?
of knives. They all serve different functions. But I'm pretty sure I only have one paring knife.
I think
But
I have like
I have a cheese knife.
I a
I don't use it
cheese.
for anything else but cheese. It slices cheese better than any other knife.
I don't know that there's different knives. I remember decluttering my kitchen once. My husband came back later and he's like, "Where's the tomato knife and where is the bread knife?" And I'm like, "The fact that these things exist is stupid. One knife should cut everything." So
No,
he still
I'm
gives me
with
a
him. The
hard
tomato
time.
knife is not the same as the vegetable chopping
He
knife.
he was real mad about the tomato knife, but you know what? We make do.
Yeah,
We
I would use the
we
bread
make
knife for the
do.
tomato knife, but not for the vegetable chopping knife. Those are
Yeah,
not the
well,
same.
we also don't have a bread knife. He's like, you need a special knife for crusty bread. I'm like, this is redonkulous and whatever. But
And he's right.
I know
And
he's
he's right. You
probably
do.
right. He's
So,
probably
question, what
right.
do you think about this new underconsumption core label? What do you
Like
think about that?
underconsumption, like simplification kind of thing.
No, it's more about it's on Instagram a lot. So
I
it's more they're calling it underconsumption core. And then so when they show videos, I was like, "Oh, you mean normal life?" Like
What the
not
heck is
curated.
underconsumption?
So here's
Is
what I
this
think
like
it
not
means.
having 50 bottles of matching cleaner all in a drawer that you're
Yes,
clicking
yes,
in?
yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So you know the Instagram reels that are like restock my son's bathroom, and it's like $1,000 worth of products for a teenage boy, or like
Yeah.
restock my freezer ice cube. Blah. Okay, so this is like the opposite of that. Like the, they would make a reel that's like under consumption core, one ice cube tray, and I'm kind of like, but isn't that normal? Like,
That is normal.
and I think
That
people
is
maybe don't know that.
normal. I think people don't know that. It's true. No, that's super normal. And the truth is, I'm going into clients' homes still. Like, I volunteer in the community and I'm helping people declutter. And the amount of excess that people are buying because I think we feel like we're supposed to is crazy pants. And then we have no place to put this stuff. And it is not realistic that somebody has you know, 25 tubes of toothpaste that they're all stacking in their bathroom for some reason and it's all looks pretty and is matching. That's that's redonkulous.
So, do you think the reason for that, do you think social media is the core reason for that? Or do you think it's because people are lonely and they buy things to fill the void? Like they shop because they're bored or shop because they're lonely. And with the internet, it's so easy to do it from your house. Or is it a combo?
Yeah, I think for the Instagram like influencers who are making the content, it looks pretty. It does.
Hmm.
I think they're doing it for views. And I know this because you'll see the same cabinet done multiple times by the same influencer, but with different stuff being put in there. They
Hmm.
probably are just chucking it all into a storage bin or something afterwards. So they're doing it because that's what people like to see. And I think us as everyday consumers, sometimes we can get really stuck in this scarcity mindset when it comes to stuff and money. And when I'm working with clients who have, 27 tubes of toothpaste, it's not because they think that looks pretty. It's because the toothpaste was on sale and they
Hmm.
better buy it now because they have a little bit of extra money now. It's on sale and they might not have the money tomorrow. So there's this fear of like, they don't see money as this permanent safe thing. Money can be gone. Money isn't a permanent thing. It's scary and it can be gone, but the stuff feels safe. So we tend to overbuy when we have a little extra money because again, we can count on the stuff being there. The problem is it adds up very quickly. We don't have room for all this extra stuff. And when you have a ton of inventory to manage, you forget what you have and it gets lost. It gets stuck in the back of the closet. Things are going bad and you're just rebuying and respending money, which means you have less money, which means you're scared about money and it kind of perpetuates that scarcity cycle. It's tough. It's a tough wheel to get off. And I was really, really, really poor the majority of my adult life. So I feel it and I know exactly what it feels when I got extra money or a bonus or I had a little bit left over. I was like, I'd better spend this on something on sale or that I need. So, because next paycheck, I might not have enough.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking, I better save this in the bank because next paycheck, I might not have enough.
Yeah, you know what? That's very accurate. That's one that I didn't consider in my thought process on that one. So I think that's a valid one also. I heard this on a podcast. They said unhappy people make excellent consumers.
Hmm.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, it's true. And a lot of that too is the marketing.
Mhm.
So if you don't feel overly confident in your body, well, there's creams to make you look younger, and there's
Mhm.
clothing that will make your stomach look better, and there's, lotions that are going to make you smell better and feel, there's perfume that's going to make you feel like a supermodel. And that really feeds into our insecurities. And it's a lot easier to fix the things we don't like about ourselves by just buying that shortcut sometimes than actually looking inward and doing the work and asking ourselves why. For me, my overconsumption definitely is home related, like
Mhm.
pillows, friend, or any type of home decor. But I know I've done this self reflection. I know where this comes from. And it comes from me wanting to feel like I have my home together and in order because I went so long not being able to keep it clean or keep it maintained or decorate. Like I was just like, it was the biggest insecurity that I had was my inability to be like a good homemaker, I guess. And so I overcompensate for that by like showing myself, look, I am a good homemaker now. I can make everything pretty. I can keep on top of things. So I'm kind of like buying that sense of like, yeah, happiness, I guess. It's so weird, isn't it? It is such a weird thing. And I think this is a trap that a lot of us get into. So whether we're really into makeup or we're really into whatever it is, a lot of this can come from this like deep insecurity when it comes to that area of our lives.
I know that you are into books.
Yeah.
Mhm. Do you prefer fiction or non? A little
I'm
bit of
like a
both?
self-help book junkie, man. Yeah.
Okay, so
Big
what are you
time.
reading right now?
Well, Dawn has convinced me to read the 10 times is better than 2 times.
I just bought it. It showed up yesterday.
Yep, I just bought it too. So that is the
We
that's
gonna
the one
book
I'm going to
club it up?
be. But let's book club the crap out of this.
Yes.
Yes, let's do that. If I have to do a really horrible task, I'm going to listen to an audiobook that's fiction about like two vampires going at it or something. Like that's probably what I'm going to listen to. But I force myself to at least 3 times a week get into a self help book of some sort because I'm serious when I say that that is what changed my life.
Hmm.
Self help books took me from this total disaster that like I couldn't do anything and I couldn't manage anything and taught me life skills. And it wasn't like one book was like da 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 changed my life. It's like a tiny tool, a tiny nugget of something that improves my life in some small minuscule way every time I read. It's just really learning. It's growth, it's education, and that is all added up to like it's especially in the financial and the business side. So I could not manage a dollar to save my life, man. I claimed bankruptcy at 24. I sucked with money, sucked so hard, but I learned the tools to like have financial freedom. And I see money completely differently than I did before. And I learned business stuff too, right? So, how to manage a business, how to manage employees, how to all of that type of stuff. I would never know otherwise without really making it a priority to continually educate myself.
So I guess you could say you've read a lot of the self-help genre. If you had to pick top one ever, best one,
Hmm. Atomic
which one?
Habits. Atomic Habits for
Atomic
sure.
Habits is
And
excellent.
Awaken the Giant Within. I mean, I'll always go back to that book when I'm feeling low. That's one that's like pull up your bootstraps like and just do something bigger than yourself. But Atomic Habits gave me a foundation for daily routines and habits for sure.
Yeah, I had my son listen to the audiobook. He's 17 and he was like everyone should read this book. Like even as a 17-year-old, he's like this is the most amazing thing I've ever listened to. I'm a
Yeah,
big fan.
big fan. And then the first financial book I ever read, like this is old. Okay, we're going to go back, but like um Rich Dad Poor Dad
Yes, I read that.
and yeah, The Wealthy Barber. Now things have changed since then, but as somebody who's never like I never even knew what a budget was or how to like
Mhm.
I like knew nothing. And I certainly didn't know that money was a tool to make you money. I thought money was something you spent on stuff. Like I had
Right.
never realized that it was a tool that was supposed to earn you more money. And
Mhm.
so reading those financial books just changed the way I looked at money. And I'm just so grateful that I read them way back then.
You know what? Dave and I were just talking about this about the financial stuff. You know, I've read some of these financial books as well. And I don't know that there's another way to learn it because his parents worked at a nonprofit and as a teacher, they didn't have entrepreneurial sense, they didn't have business sense. You know, my family was very, very poor. My dad just ended up in sales by accident. So he did okay. But again, you know, they don't know that world, the business world, the
Mhm.
money world. They don't teach it at school. They don't teach it at college. I got a business degree. They don't teach it.
That's so
Like, isn't
crazy.
it crazy? And so there's really only no way else to learn it other than learning it on your own, talking to the right people, reading the right books. It's interesting. The last 5 years, I've really, is it dived? What's the grammar there? Into this world. And I've met a lot of entrepreneurs, investors, business people. They think totally differently about the world and about
Yeah.
money than the entire way I was raised. Everything I learned in school, completely different.
Yeah.
100% different, and has been such a learning journey for me to pick up on this education that I never knew before.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know how compound interest worked. I didn't know anything, and I still don't know if my parents do. I
Hmm.
grew up with really blue collar family. No one had ever gone to like a post secondary education. And I was told if I was lucky and I worked really hard, I'd get a factory job. And still to this day, my mom tries to convince me to get a real job, like a factory job. I think she worked at the same place for 40 years or something and made $1 more than minimum wage her
Wow.
entire life. And so, but and I'm not saying that as like a negative thing at all, but also like
Hmm.
she wasn't ever saving. She didn't think about any like long term. It wasn't that just was never really thought about or talked about. And now there's those consequences, right? Of like, man, once you retire, if you haven't saved anything, what do you do? And it's very scary. But those aren't conversations that anyone ever had with my mom. And those aren't
Hmm.
conversations that she ever had with anyone else, right?
Right.
Certainly not
Right.
with me. I'm just so grateful that I picked up those books all those years ago and really learned the fundamentals about money and how to protect myself and how to save. And it's slow, man. But the importance of doing that so that I'm never in a position one day that I don't know what to do in case of an emergency, or I, God forbid, like can't work anymore. I've set myself up to be taken care of.
Yeah, exactly. We started a very long time ago. I think it was '09 that we started our first retirement account, and we couldn't even put anything in it. I think we budgeted
Nothing.
$100 a month
Yeah.
for years. So '09, what is that? 15 years ago we started, like squeaking out $100 a month. And it's just now that we're like, holy crap, we
I
did
know.
something.
I
It took
know.
15 years.
I know. We did 10%. We read a Dave Ramsey book, and we started putting 10% of our paycheck away, immediately paying it first into a bank account that we couldn't touch. And there was times like we didn't have food. And it was like, I guess we're eating craft dinner. Like, this is horrible. Or wouldn't it be nice to go on a trip? We've got enough in this savings account. Maybe we could buy something. We were driving an old beat up car that was rattling down the road with rust. And yet we had some money in that account, and we could have, but we didn't. It was like, that is for retirement. We're not touching it. Man, I'm so grateful for that self discipline, because that just continued to make money and make money and make money and grow and grow and grow. And then we used like index linked accounts, right? And we invested that money, which just grew and grew. And it turned into like something amazing. And it didn't really feel like that big of a sacrifice all that time,
Hmm.
because we immediately put it away into this little savings account. And it wasn't a lot of money, it was nothing. But all that little nothings sure added up to something. And I'm just so thankful and so grateful.
I know. And then I think it's really important to ride out the tough times also. So the I'm going to call it the 2020 crash in March. The stock market took a major dive, like huge. It was scary to look at your accounts. And then I've been reading financial books for a long time, and I was like, listen, when the eggs go on sale, you just buy more. And so I dumped some extra in, and then within a month, 2 months, it
Mhm.
had shot
Yeah.
right back up. And I was like, I'm so glad I did that. And then I just kept for the last 4 years, I kept on keeping on. Am I saying that right? Keep on
Yep.
keeping on.
Kept on keeping on.
And so
That's
I don't
just it.
know
Kept on
what
keeping
stuff you
on.
invest in, but I'm telling you, the day after the election was the largest one day jump in the stock market in history.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
not a gambler, so I'm not
I'm
like
not a
big
gambler either. I just
into
did
the
my
stock
normal.
market. Yeah, we do a lot of like index links, so it's super
Hmm.
safe, and a lot of just like high interest savings. You would probably die, because I know we could probably, if we put it into stocks, make more, but I'm just like, I never want to lose even a dime. So I want it to be super insanely safe. And we're so lucky right now. Like a high interest savings is getting almost 5% with
I do have a
zero
couple of
risk.
high savings, all about
Yeah. So,
5%. I
what
actually
what
did a
it
CD at 5.5. I caught it on the best day. It was like they were going up, and they were like CD for 5.5, and I was like, I'll throw some money in there. And then like the next week they were like CD for 4.5, and I was like, caught it on the right day, man.
And it feels so good, right? But and the crazy thing is like I would have no idea what anyone was talking about 15 years ago or
Hmm.
like 17 years ago. And I also thought like saving and even investing was such a like coming from a place of privilege. I really had this thought of like, oh, that's stuff that rich people talk about or rich people think about. No, friend, it's something everyone should be thinking about. And the reason we don't have that education and we don't know is why we're poor.
Hmm.
Like I was struggling and living paycheck to paycheck, not because I didn't earn enough. And trust me, I earned nothing. Okay. I earned $50 a day watching a bunch of kids babysitting. I made nothing, but I could have saved $2 of that.
Right.
Right. And
Hmm.
that's something I really didn't realize was that's how we get out and that's how we stay out of that scarcity cycle and that living paycheck to paycheck cycle. And I have loved ones who made way more than I did and their whole life had great jobs and now they have debt up to their eyeballs. They're not able to retire when they should be like it's heartbreaking. It really is, but they just don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
I totally agree. So, what do you think is the worst advice you ever got in your life?
Oh man, worst advice. My sister once told me, don't worry, you only have to make the minimum payments on your credit card.
Oh, no. That's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. She was
That
5
one's
years
pretty
older
bad.
than me and she was like, that's what the minimum payment's for. You only have to make the minimum payment. And if you need more money, you can ask them to increase your credit rating. That was
Wow.
bad
That
advice.
is
Oh,
bad.
I also was told by another loved one to go and get furniture on like the buy now pay later and you don't have to pay it back, so like you get to have the furniture now but you don't have to make payments for like a
That's not good.
year. But I
Mm-mm.
didn't realize that the interest started the day you bought it and it was like 12%
It
compounded.
retroactive at 12%. Oh my
So
gosh, that
then
is bad.
you buy like $1,000 sofa and then a year from now you have to pay 2,000 for it and then continue
Oh,
that 12% on that 2,000 until it's
that
paid off.
is
So you end
bad.
up at the end of the day spending like $3,000-4,000 for $1,000 thing. That's how compound interest works. And I didn't know that. So that's some bad advice that I've been given.
What's the best piece of advice you ever got?
Definitely pay yourself first.
Pay
Like,
yourself first.
yeah, so the first bill on payday, you get your paycheck. The first bill you pay is to yourself and it's 10% and it's automatic and it's into a savings account that you cannot touch. It's not linked to your card. You'd have to go to the bank. Crap, I got a fire.
You got to fire. Oh, well, thank you for coming.
I'm so
I'll
sorry.
leave I'll leave clutterbug.com in the show notes for anyone that wants to find you later. Okay, it's been awesome.
It's been so good. Thank you so much. I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.